What if I told you the Isle of Wight hides secret abbeys, a monument older than Stonehenge, and one of Britain's greatest wartime engineering projects, and even a dragon that's supposedly been turned into a tree? Most people come to the Isle of Wight for the beaches, the walks and the sea views. Beneath the surface is an island with thousands of years of history. Today we're hunting down some of its best hidden gems. And the best part, every one of these places is open for you to discover too. Welcome to Hidden Gems of the Isle of Wight History Edition. This is one of Britain's greatest wartime secrets. We've crossed to the island's southeast coast, one of its most famous natural landmarks. Shanklin Chine was carved over 10,000 years. The ravine features rare plants, abundant wildlife and a dramatic waterfall, including a 14-metre drop. But now this peaceful gorge hides one of the biggest engineering secrets of the Second World War. After D-Day, Allied forces desperately needed fuel to keep advancing across France. And the solution? Pump petrol under the English Channel. Operation Pluto, pipeline under the ocean, ran directly through Shanklin Chine before disappearing beneath the sea for Cheval. The Germans never discovered it. At its peak, the system delivered up to 1 million gallons every single day. Even Winston Churchill visited the operation, calling it one of Britain's greatest wartime engineering achievements. So while visitors come here today for the waterfalls and lush greenery, do you realise they're walking through one of the most important operations of the war? Every island has its legends, and Bridestone's is wonderfully bizarre. We've headed to the Dragon Tree. At first glance, this may look like an ancient oak tree, but take a closer look. The story goes that centuries ago, the village of Brydestone was terrorised by a fearsome dragon. The villagers were too frightened to leave their home, until St. Tarquin of Bectus arrived. After spending 30 days fasting and praying in the village church, he finally confronted the beast. Instead of slaying it, legends say he struck the dragon with his lance, causing it to shrivel and take root and turn into wood, trapping it here beside the stream forever. Whether you believe the story or not, the tree itself is remarkable. Thought to be hundreds of years old, it has survived countless storms by rerouting itself, twisting and growing into the extraordinary shape you see today. It's only a short walk from the centre of Brydestone, but it's actually the sort of hidden place most visitors never discover. An ancient oak or a sleeping dragon? I'll let you decide. Now we've made our way to the island's northeast coast, just outside of Ryde, where one of the Isle of Wight's most recognisable landmarks hides a story that almost disappeared forever. Most people know Appley Tower, but what many people don't realise is the tower was never built to defend the coast. It was actually built as a Victorian folly, designed to simply impress visitors arriving to one of the island's grandest private estates. Standing behind me once stood Appley Towers, a spectacular country house overlooking the Solent. During the Victorian era, this whole area was transformed into an extraordinary estate, complete with exotic gardens, an orangery, an aviary filled with rare parrots, an Italian fountain and even its own private pier sticking out into the sea. The estate was owned by Sir William Hutt, a politician whose influence stretched as far as Australia and New Zealand. Sadly, the house itself didn't survive. It was demolished in 1959, with much of the estate making way for housing. But if you know where to look, you can still find little reminders of what was once here. From the old entrance lodges to the estate boathouse that is still used by Ryde Rowing Club, Appley Tower has become one of Ryde's best-loved landmarks. But now you know its secret. It's not just a tower, it's the last visible reminder of one of the Isle of Wight's most remarkable Victorian estates. Our next stop brings us to the north-east coast of the island, to Ryde Pier. If you've ever travelled to the Isle of Wight as a foot passenger with us, chances are you've arrived right here.
After a quick 22-minute fast cat crossing from Portsmouth Harbour, you probably walked the length of this pier without even realising just how much history lies beneath your feet. At nearly half a mile long, it's the oldest seaside pier in the UK and the second longest in the country. But here's something most people don't realise. You're not actually looking at one pier, you're looking at three. The original wooden pier opened in 1840 and was built for one very practical reason. At low tide, the sea here retreats almost half a mile, making it impossible for ferries to reach the shore. The pier solved that problem, allowing passengers to arrive whatever the tide. As more people began to visit the Isle of Wight, the pier kept growing. In 1846, a second pier was added alongside the first to carry a horse-drawn tramway. It transported passengers from arriving steamers into the heart of Ryde, long before cars became common. Then, in 1880, a third pier was built to carry the railway line. For the first time, passengers could step off a ferry straight onto a train. More than 140 years later, that journey is still remarkably seamless. Today, our fast cat arrives at the pierhead every day, where passengers can walk straight onto the island, just as travellers have been doing here for generations.
We've now headed inland to one of the island's oldest and most mysterious landmarks. In fact, this monument was already ancient when the Egyptian pyramids were being built. The Longstone is around 6,000 years old, making it older than Stonehenge. Nobody knows exactly why these stones were placed here, and that's part of the mystery. Legend says these stones were thrown during a contest between St. Catherine and the devil for control of the island. St. Catherine's enormous stone landed perfectly whilst the devil's fell short, symbolising good triumphing over evil. The reality is just as fascinating. Archaeologists believe that this was once the entrance to a Neolithic communal burial mound, used by some of Britain's earliest farming communities. Thousands of years later, the Saxons are thought to have used it as a meeting place. And even today, people still gather here to celebrate the solstice. Because it's tucked away on Motterstone Down, you'll often have this remarkable place completely to yourself.
Our final stop takes us to the north-east of the island, hidden amongst woodlands overlooking the Solent. For centuries, Quarr Abbey controlled huge areas of the Isle of Wight, with monks farming the land, brewing ale and welcoming pilgrims arriving by sea. The monastery behind me is still home to monks today, continuing a tradition that existed here for almost 900 years. But hidden just a short walk away are the foreign ruins of the original Quarr Abbey. Founded in 1132, this became the largest religious house on the Isle of Wight. During the 100 Years' War, its walls were strengthened with what was believed to be Britain's earliest documented gun ports. Everything changed in 1536 when Henry VIII dissolved the monasteries. Much of the stones you see missing today were carried away to build Yarmouth Castle and Cowes Castle. Even now, surrounded by woodland and birdsong, it's easy to imagine the monks who lived, worked and worshipped here for over 4 centuries. Today we've explored just a handful of the Isle of Wight's hidden histories. A mysterious monument older than Stonehenge, a top-secret wartime fuel pipeline, a legendary dragon tree, and the peaceful remains of one of the island's greatest abbeys. And that's the wonderful thing about the Isle of Wight. Around almost every corner, there's another story waiting to be discovered.
If you'd like to visit these places yourself, getting here couldn't be easier, with regular sailings from Portsmouth and Lymington, whether you're travelling as a foot passenger or bringing your car to explore at your own pace. So next time you visit the Isle of Wight, don't just head for the beach, take the road less travelled, because some of the island's best stories are hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this video, let us know which hidden gem surprised you the most, and tell us what we should feature in the next episode. Don't forget to subscribe for more Isle of Wight travel guides, hidden gems and local stories. We'll see you on the island.